All right, my beautiful people, man. Good evening, good evening, good evening to you. We're here live, Facebook and YouTube, allowing it to just kind of let you guys know that we're here. While I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna go here and see if I can start a little watch party because I ain't done that in a while. Let me see if I can do that some kind of way. Let's see here. Tiesha, yeah, let's see. You might see it now. You might see it now. Let's see if I can start a little watch party here. Here we go. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's see. You might see it now. Okay, there we go. All right, my beautiful people, man. Good evening to you, man. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight, New Black Wall Street. This is a Black Woman Wednesday, guys. This is just a wonderful time for us to get together, have an empowerment show of some sort, and continue to uplift, inspire, encourage, and support our Black women. While you guys are connecting, man, go ahead and let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly, what city, what state, what country, as we allow Facebook, YouTube to do its thing to let other people know that we're here. Tag a sister as well, because you never know who might be needing to hear this message here tonight. We have a very, very important show here tonight as we'll be talking about your right to defend, and we got a phenomenal woman who'll be talking about this area that's not talked about enough. And so I'm just super excited to be to have the honor and privilege to bring her to you here today. Like and share if you care, guys. If you are your sister's keeper, hit that like button, that share button, let people know that we're here. That's just what we do. Hit that like button and share button if you care enough about your sister here tonight on Black Woman Wednesday. Once again, thanks so much for being with us here today. We have absolutely a grand time here as we continue to, again, see the love on the Black woman. There's plenty of media out there, guys, that'll continue to bring us down and continue to pitch a bad light on our community. Well, we have a show here tonight that won't do that, and we're just hoping that you'll help us to make this time that we have here today. It's great. That's right. Just help make this time that we have here today great. Well, I'm not going to delay that much longer, guys, because I want to get right into this thing here tonight. You guys know what time it is. It's time to get this show on the road. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. Yeah. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Again, thanks so much for joining us here today. The New Black Wall Street presents Black Woman Wednesday. This is our feature presentation as we continue to uplift, inspire, and encourage the Black woman here today on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That book there is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way, because Black wealth is a Black choice. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. And you can begin that study by picking up something as simple as a book. May not cost you very much at all, but you begin to see that there's something different between those who are rich and those who are poor. And a lot of it starts with how you think. Well, you pick up a book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy here today. Our sponsor for tonight is Big Sis Media, a Black woman-owned company. Big Sis Media is everything that you see that I do is powered by Big Sis Media. They're a creative design agency that is owned by a Black woman, and they have the tools available to help the clients communicate with audiences through visual and digital media. So when you start talking about websites, you start talking about digital flyers and stuff for Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. Well, if you don't have that creative eye, well, maybe you need to hire someone that does. And that's exactly what ERGJ has done with Big Sis Media. They're here to watch over your most critical needs like a big sis would. So if you need help in that area, you ain't got to try to do it all by yourself. Just contact Big Sis Media by going to the website, bigsismediagroup.com. That's right, bigsismediagroup.com. Well, guys, I want to say thanks so much for being here, man. We're going to get this show right on the road, man. This is Black Woman Wednesday. I see we have people that are here, joined us here tonight. You could go ahead and let us know that you're here. Go ahead and say hello. Also, let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly. We're broadcasting across the World Wide Web, across YouTube and also Facebook. We know that you could be connected with us from anywhere. We're broadcasting from our virtual studio right here in Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it's greater. And our guest is, I think our guest is from maybe since, I don't know, she's on the West Coast. She'll tell us about where she's from as well. Go ahead, hit that like button and share button if you care. Also hit that button that says tag a sister. Let a sister know that we're here tonight, and it's going to be show filled with information that you could use. That's right, filled with information that you can use, as we're going to be talking about your right to protect yourself or your right to defend. That's right, man. One of the principles that I teach is we continue to teach about building wealth is number one, you got to build it. Then number two, the biggest thing is you have to protect it. You have to protect what you build. You have to protect what you own. You can't wait on others to do for you what you and we should be doing for ourselves. So a big part of village, a big part of empire, a big part of growth and development is defense. And we see that in society. We see that in America. We see that across every other border, every other country. They put a lot of money in defense. And so we'll be talking a little bit about that here tonight, as we have what I consider to be a specialist. I mean, I'll be seeing her pop off and everything. I'm just trying to tell you. I mean, she'd be going in, but she says she's a novice. But I tell people all the time that even if you're a novice in some area, if you know more than me, to me, you're an expert. And so tonight, we'll be bringing a sister on that'll be a sharer with you here today. And while we're talking about that, let me introduce our special guest here tonight. This is a queen that we've been connected for about 3 years or so. She's been following me. I've been following her. We've never done a show together. How? I don't know. But there's a first time for everything. So let me introduce you guys, my good friend, Miss Tiesha Essex, I believe is her last name. And I'll let her introduce herself as well. Good evening to you, Queen. Thanks so much for joining.
Greetings. It's such an honor to be here. Like you said, I've been following you since, oh my gosh, when I lived in Hawaii for over like 3 years now. But yes, I am Tiesha. I am here in the greater Seattle area, originally from Cincinnati, Ohio, but my mind is in Georgia. So it's such an honor to be here with you. And I thank you for this.
Absolutely, Tiesha, man. Thanks so much for being here with us here tonight. There's some who don't know who you are, and I know there's even me. I need to get to know you better. If you could share with our audience here today who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do.
Yes, I am, like I said, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I grew up there until I was about 17. That's when I joined the Navy. And from there, I wanted to be a firefighter. It was actually September 11th that inspired me to, with this urge to serve. And I wanted to be a firefighter. So I went and I joined the Navy, and I was told that I will be a firefighter on board aircraft carriers. However, I handled JP5 jet fuel, and I served in the Navy for a little over 5 years. And right before I got out of the Navy, I lived in Virginia. My car was broken into. So the police officers, I lived in Hampton, Virginia. The police officers responded, just treated me with the utmost respect. And it was them who actually encouraged me to apply for the Hampton Police Department. But I had applied with Hampton and also Newport News Police Department. I was ultimately hired first with Newport News Police Department, where when I was there, I served on the honor guard. I worked in patrol. If you're familiar with that area, I worked up in Denby for about 4 years. And then I finished out my tenure as a police officer there in downtown Newport News. While I was there, I was filmed for an episode of a Fox show, Cops, but my episode never aired. Like I said, I served on the honor guard. I received numerous awards for exemplary police performance, outstanding police performance, team effort, the Chiefs Award. I was also recognized by Mothers Against Drunk Driving for outstanding DUI arrest. Following that, I decided to go ahead and use my GI Bill because I saw a need within the community to connect with the segment of the public which was suffering from mental health. And I noticed that there was a big deficit where officers did not know how to handle that demographic. And I felt as though the answer was not putting everybody in jail. So I pursued my bachelor's degree in psychology. I finished that. I graduated from St. Leo University. And then following that, I started my own business. I began watching your channel and just other people who have just been influential in not just having one stream of income. And there was a situation that happened, I'll talk about that a different time, but it showed me that I did not need to rely on one stream of income. And I started finding my entrepreneur spirit. And that's what led me to now. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about everything under the sun. I just want to set a positive example and give the world the image of a Black woman that you will not see on TV. And I'm not perfect, but I've had some great mentors, and I just want to show them that their investment in me is great. And that's what led me to right now. I just launched my brand, Timonics self-defense gear. I'm working on my trademark as we speak. But right now, I see a need in our community where Black women and women in general are not feeling protected. And it's not always about a firearm. I know there are people who are not, comfortable with a firearm, or, just not in that self-defense mode. So I want to show them and encourage them to take that seriously, while also showing, like, yes, mainly with law enforcement and veterans, I saw that a lot of self-defense brands or Second Amendment, spokespeople, they claim to be, well, not claim, but they, revealed it that they are veterans and they're into law enforcement. And I'm like, hold on, I did that too, but no one looked like me that I could find. So I want to put a different spin on American veteran, police officer, Black woman who's into the Second Amendment, and also being business minded and feminine at the same time. So that's it.
Wow, I got so much I want to add and say. This is just phenomenal. So we got a multi-angle thing going on here. Veteran, police officer, entrepreneur. Obviously, the biggest thing, Black woman who cares enough. That's what I would say. And I just heard so much that I don't even know where to go with this. First, everybody that's in the comments, man, go ahead and put in the comments below self-defense. And I see YBE's up in here, man. We go, hey, what's going on, Miss Phyllis George? Thanks so much for joining. YBE's up in the house, man. He said guns. So we're gonna be talking about guns tonight. What's going on with you, Christopher Freeman? Thanks so much for joining, man. Good evening to you, Miss Almanar. And so let me ask you this: so with your time, I guess you could say in law enforcement. Well, no. Well, let me go here, because you just kept saying, you said a couple things. You said, hey, you saw a need and you decided to fill it. Now, there are plenty of us that are out here who see plenty of needs, but it seems to be only those that have the courage, to actually do something about it, or start something, or start a movement. So talk to us a little bit about that. Was that something that just kind of built this courage to just step out and start something? You talking about entrepreneur spirit, but I believe that might have started way before. Have you always kind of been like, hey, I'm just going to start it, and then you just realize, hey, I can start businesses too?
The need came from growing up in Cincinnati. I did not have the best upbringing. We had a shortage of food, funds. And one thing that I got tired of was just complaining. I got tired of complaining and the woe is me. And I got tired of waiting. And that was what pushed me to join the Navy. I kind of had to get away from the woe is me. And I'm not, blaming anybody. That's just, the cards that we were dealt. But when I saw a need, I'm kind of that person to let's do something about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. And things that seem difficult, I tend to face them, head on, and also with being a person that takes charge and seeing a need, I'm very empathetic. So when I see someone else suffering or having a hard time, I feel that as well. Like, I take that to heart. And I always try to prepare myself to be ready to handle a situation if that happens again. And that's one of the things of being a police officer. My mind does not work, or even just being a veteran, my mind does not work the way the average person, like, sitting in this room, I'm thinking about 15 different scenarios that can happen and what my response would be, so I'm always thinking a step ahead. My mind is always on the move. So just finding a need, if there's a shortage, if I could learn it and do it, I'm going to do it. And I did not know that this is defining me. Like, I'm actually happy. For all those years, I kept running from myself, just being a Black woman from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm not sure if you are familiar. Well, I'm sure most recently with the death of Sam DuBose at the University of Cincinnati. But what also drove me to join the Navy right before September 11th of 2001, we had the murder of Timothy Thomas. He was an unarmed Black man in Cincinnati, and that started the race riots of 2001. And I don't know, it just, things just kept happening back to back that just affected me. And I'm like, okay, I want to know what is going on. Why is this happening? And that really shaped me to being a police officer. I was ashamed to admit I was a police officer because we had a policy where you could not be on social media with your uniform, but the police department was recording me and putting me on social media and the news and the media. So I'm like, okay, I can flip this and really be the voice for my community. We had other officers who were the voice of their community. I wanted to be that. And so as I began to not run from myself and run from, what made me, it just fell into place.
Absolutely, man. Now, I'm going a couple different places, but as you, I think it's important for us to not assume that people know what what the Second Amendment is. If you could just share with people what that is and how we can use that to our benefit. Knowing our rights and using what we know or we learn. I think that's a big part. I tell people you can't, just because we can't be ignorant of the law. So if we understand those laws, so if you could talk to us a little bit about the Second Amendment and what that can do for us.
Okay, now I'm not an attorney or an attorney spokesperson. I don't have a law degree, but the Second Amendment, the Constitution, for Americans, you have the right to protect yourself, life, limb, property. And that's on, the Constitution level. Each state has its own state codes, local codes, city codes, stuff like that. And then of course, being in the military, there's different codes overseas, rules of engagement, status of forces agreements. I know this is mumbo jumbo, but yes, it gives you the right to protect yourself. It does not give you the right to go out and pick a fight or to go and just bother people, but something comes to you, you have the right to protect yourself. First responders, we can't be everywhere. We're not everywhere, but each citizen has the right, if they're not a convicted felon or anything that disqualifies them, to lawfully have a firearm. But it also goes towards any other things you do in your defense: fighting, locking your doors, security systems. Kevlar, that's something that is really new. I just reviewed a company from Atlanta, Thick Skin, THYKSKYNN, Thick Skin Kevlar vest. As a citizen, you can wear a Kevlar vest to protect yourself. Right now, we're in the age of, oh my gosh, I have a brain dump for a minute. Oh gosh, just random shooters, so you can be out in public unarmed and, a mass shooting happens, such as just recently at Naval Air Station Pensacola or in Charleston with the Charleston 9. You have a right to wear Kevlar and protect yourself. So these are things that are afforded to you as a citizen, as a law-abiding U.S. born citizen or naturalized. But I highly, like you said, ignorance of the law. I heard that a lot in court. I highly suggest you go to a website, LexisNexis. If you just Google it, LEXXUS, Nexus, NEXXUS, and purchase a code book for your state. Purchase a code book. That's what the police officers, the courts, the attorney or district attorney in Virginia, it was the Commonwealth attorney. That's what they use. That has every crime that someone can be charged with, the elements of the crime. Read that, because it's broken up into, traffic, criminal, civil, stuff like that. And read that and study that and learn about the laws that affect you. Also, join a local gun club. Right now, I haven't officially joined, but I've been researching the National African American Gun Club. They will keep you abreast of, recent changes in legislature, let you know what is, legal. There's a place in a gun store, a Black-owned gun store in LA. Shout out to Melvin and Danae. They advertise them hard. Oh my gosh, Redstone Firearms. I'm just gonna bring up Redstone Firearms is Black-owned. You can just go there and strike up a conversation with the owners because they stay abreast of the laws because they answer to ATF. Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. So they will stay abreast of laws, just build a relationship with them. They have a firearms range, just become familiar, just dive into it. Follow hashtags on Instagram, find other people. There's a brother, Tactical Carl with the K. He is in Texas, I believe. Big Mike training, locks and loaded firearms. These brothers will keep you all the way together.
Now, I think that this is another area, though, Tiesha, that it's again, it's not. Maybe because we're talking about there's this inclusion of guns and firearms, but it's definitely not something that you even really have conversations about in our community. From what it's almost like one of those taboo subjects. I talk about money, not many people talk about that. You start talking about defending yourself, not many people are talking about that either. So, what do you think? I guess you're doing your part in your way to be able to raise awareness. But it seems like we wait until disaster, catastrophe. We wait until something dramatic or traumatic happens before we begin to take defense seriously. And we're talking about all types of defense, from domestic to assault, battery. And then also I will also ask this question as well. This is a combo because I'm just enamored by your knowledge in this area. I also feel like the system is kind of set up to put felonies on us that then prevents us from being able to bear arms legally as well. I think that's because I see some things that people got felonies for. It's like, wait a second, you just didn't pay your insurance for a couple of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what's going on here? Talk us a little bit about that angle and you've been in law enforcement of some of the things that you have seen or experienced in your time.
That is a great question. And I value the fact that my upbringing was what it was, because anything could have happened where I was disqualified to own a firearm, or my life would be totally different. And I believe that's what gave me a lot of empathy and discretion. I use a lot of discretion as a police officer. It was certain situations or certain calls for service I would go to, or a traffic stop, and you run the whole scenario, as they say in court, the totality of the circumstances through your mind, and you take what you have, and I had a way of understanding where this person came from. Whether it was a shoplifting, that was over a certain dollar amount that made it a felony. You really try to approach these things, and that made me much more willing to work with, or provide everything to the prosecuting attorney to work out a deal so that, this person does not have a felony, have a right to protect themselves. There was this one law that I did not agree with while as a police officer, and it was where you will lose your driver's license, if you possess marijuana or something like that. And then, if you have the drive and you have this car, you want to have your freedoms to go somewhere, but you have a restricted driver's license. You get caught, you're arrested. You do this, habitual offender. It was just a lot of that just really bothered me, because the greater picture, or the bigger part of society, do not know what Black people face coming up in our communities. Yes, you see me, this veteran, this homeowner, this, but I'm like, hey, there was some crappy situations that people in my community, including myself, were in, and it's based on the choices. And some people feel as though they don't have any other choice but to go this route. So when it comes to our community, there's a big fear when it comes to firearms, because a great disadvantage I noticed living here in Washington. A lot of my coworkers, they grew up here, so they were shooting rifles at a young age. They were able, like a lot of this is country, so they'll go out in the country. They can go hunt, they can fish, they can do that. But us who were born within the city limits, we want to do these things. We see it on TV. We see, people play cops and robbers. Rest in peace, Tamir Rice. He was doing what any other child who was in the country would do. They want to play with their toy guns. Unfortunately, he lost his life. We don't have that ability growing up in the city. And so that's how a lot of us, when we finally do get our hands on a firearm, we mimic what we see on TV, but we don't know the law. And that's when that ignorance of the law, but then you have someone who is not, empathetic or understanding to our environment. That's how we get hit up with, unfair felonies.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty big time major right there. Oh my goodness. So now I've seen you in some videos. I've seen you pop it off. Is this all this on your YouTube account, by the way? Because I know I've seen like little snippets of it on your Instagram. I'm gonna pull up your YouTube here. I want to talk a little bit about from the business side of things, because I don't know how long you've been doing your YouTube video stuff, but I was looking at here at some of these views. I'm like, okay, well, what did you do to really build up this account? Let me see here if I can get in a little bit closer here. I'm seeing 179,000 views, 58,000 views, 57,000 views, 56,000 views. So how long have you been doing YouTube? And because this is a free expression for a lot of people, they don't understand. You can literally get on there and start your own channel, do your own thing, and kind of see where it goes. But when did you get started? Why did you get started? And how did you build it up to this point where you have 8.37 thousand followers, something like that? Yeah, talk to us a little bit about your YouTube experience.
I started my YouTube channel when I lived in Hawaii. What happened was my son, he actually told me to start YouTube. Hi, Tinky, Mr. Romani. He told me, he's like, Mom, you know a lot. You just, every time I have a question, you have the answer. You're constantly reading books. You know all these things about life. You should start a YouTube channel. And at the time, he had a gaming channel. And he actually left Hawaii and he went to Virginia to live with his dad. And I started YouTube because I was sad. I missed him, I'm like, wow, and so I did not want him to forget my voice. And I just started recording videos and documenting everything. And I've always been a picture person, a camera person, but I had a way to creatively put that together, but also challenge myself to learn editing. And then I started to learn YouTube. Then I started networking and gaining friends. Initially, when I started YouTube, I was kind of following the trends. Like, okay, this is a wig review, and here's my blog of this. But that video that you see up top that says doing it for the gram, that video happened last year, Thanksgiving of last year. I was off work and I was cooking wings, turkey wings in my Instant Pot. And I hear this thing about North Sentinel Island. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed, who, taught me about North Sentinel Island. So I had immediate, I went into protector mode, like, why are you bothering people? And I recorded that video. You didn't even see my face. I was just going off. I said some bad words. I used my Cincinnati, my Midwest slang, and that video took off. I think I had about 1,000 views within an hour. And ever since then, I'm like, I'm being true to myself, because like I said, I kept running from myself. I lived as a police officer, So I did not advertise on social media I was a police officer. I hid from it. If somebody asked me on a date, where do you work? Oh, I do admin. I'll make up something. But I just started being unapologetically Tiesha. And the rest is history. I've been doing YouTube now for over 3 years. And my following just started to increase, just being true to myself. I shaved off all my hair. I admitted that I left religion. And now I'm just at a point where I'm just meeting other great people around the world, like how I see the internet and social media. I don't see it to, troll and start trouble and lollygag and watch dumb world star videos all day, every day. It's networking. Like, you're in Georgia. We never met. I met you or your platform in Hawaii, but we have smartphones, but dumb people. But to find a way to hack that and use it for good stuff, for our business, for connecting, for building that family, networking, making money a business. We can't, just go and be hustle man door to door anymore. You have the internet right there. Work smarter, not harder. And once I started figuring out that, I'm like, I got this. I saw how the police department was using me as a Black woman to sell their product. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sell my own product. And the rest is history.
Man. So now, while you're talking about it, your own product, I really love to hear that you are not only just taking what you're doing to YouTube, but again, you guys follow on YouTube. Hey, more subscribers, the better. Something free for you guys can do. Hit that. Go to YouTube, look up Tiesha Essex, and you'll find a YouTube channel as well. That's free for you to do. I always tell people, hey, it's free for you to do. It means that somebody else will pay for it. So let's call it a nonprofit. It's going to be a nonprofit move. Don't cost y'all nothing, but somebody else will pay for it, man. Make sure you follow her on YouTube. That's really going to help her out. While we're talking about your brand or building your brand, now we get into this whole self-defense, right? And again, that's what really I was like, this woman is serious about it. At first I thought it was like, acting. I thought it was just like some movie and all that, because of course you've been in cops too. But I didn't realize you really serious about this thing. So talk us a little bit about your brand. And I guess you got some products that are coming out. And this is what I tell people all the time. It's like, wow, you literally can take whatever. I mean, because now we're talking a little bit about business. You can take whatever idea that you have. You could create a market for it. You could put your name on something, and then now that becomes a product that's represented by your brand. This is what all other companies do. This is why Coca-Cola can have so many different products, because Coca-Cola don't make all those products. They just put their name on it, or they might bottle it, or something like that. So you're getting into you talked to us a little bit about what you're getting into, or what you're going to be selling through your brand, and any other ideas that you have as you're launching this thing, getting your trademark. But what are some of the products that you'll be offering to the community?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. My website is TieshaEssex.com. My personal defense brand is Timonix. That's my name, Tiesha Monet Essex, but it's just Timonix. But I noticed this when I was a little girl. I would go to the corner store, and they would have a case of pop. And for y'all that's not from the Midwest who want to pick on me, a can of soda, a case of soda, or drinks, or soda pops, whatever. And I'll see them open up that case of pop and sell each pop individually. And when I look at a 12 case of pop and how much they're selling it for, it far exceeds what that case actually cost. And it took me when I turned 18 and I moved to Virginia, I got a Sam's card. And I would see people with these pallets of just, pops and multi-packs of chips. And I'm like, they're going to go put that in their convenience store. And then when I go to a 7-Eleven and see how much that product is, I'm like, I got a Sam's card. I can go and buy that my dang on self. And that's how I started seeing how the wealth is taken from our ignorance. And I'm not calling anybody ignorant or stupid, but just being in the hood with no car, no way to get out of the hood, we did not know what was happening outside the hood. So I just started getting wise and seeing stuff like that. When it came to my personal brand, it ties a little bit into my military training as well as law enforcement, but it empowers the average citizen to be their own first responder. When you call the police, unless I'm out there patrolling and just happen to by chance run up on a crime in progress, we can't be everywhere. But the average citizen is their own first responder. That's why you have the Second Amendment. That's why you have access to these different items to protect yourself. And when it came to my brand, I've been seeing, a lot of sisters, and especially our people, just being soft targets. And that's one thing that I'm like, okay, we always have to be a hard target. One thing that I was always described as in Virginia when I was a police officer was you have a warrior mindset. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know what that meant, but it's just that I always presented myself as a hard target. And I want to empower my subscribers, my viewers, those who come in contact with me to be a hard target. And that comes from I have a pocket knife. It's a 3-in-1 pocket knife where you can break out a window. It's a knife is not a weapon, it's actually a tool. You have a knife and you also have a seat belt cutter. Cars these days, I worked some terrible accidents, I worked some minor ones, but you always want to have, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Tourniquets. I just did a video on how to apply a tourniquet. Active shooter, that was the term I was looking for, active shooter. In an event of an active shooter, somebody just, out of nowhere just starts shooting people. You may take a shot, to a limb, you're going to bleed out. I remember reading about a football player who was during a burglary. He was stabbed in his leg and he bled out. So I keep thinking about these things, are running scenarios over in my mind. Okay, do you know how to apply a tourniquet, CPR? Fortunately, active duty and as a police officer, we get CPR and AED certified. The general public does not have that. But if I can just encourage and empower more people to do this, we can save ourselves, and we don't have to always be waiting for someone to come and save us. So I have tourniquets, I have knives. I just released a personal alarm. I love this item because it's not your average personal alarm that is just audible, where it's like a siren. It actually has a flashing LED strobe. So if something, most recently, the sister that was, I think she was choked and stabbed in a parking garage. I've been in fights, a lot of fights, and you know, unless you practice screaming and what you're going to do, sometimes as you're fighting, you're out of breath, that adrenaline's going, you forget to scream. There's been times where, I forget to say stuff, but you have to practice it. Just let that go. You have light, you have noise, it could be a deterrent, but as you handle in business, you're getting attention to you, and there are good Samaritans out there who will stop and help. I know I'm one of it. If I see something happening and I can safely intervene, I will do it, and I just want more people to be their own first responders and take back that power and be a hard target.
Oh my God. This is great, man. I see a lot going on here, man. So a black woman, pro self-defense, a brand coming out now. I'm sorry, you said tourniquet. I don't know what the hell that is. What is a tourniquet?
I think what.
Okay. Yeah. Can you please help a brother out on Black Woman Wednesday? Educate a brother. I've probably seen it. I ain't never heard it. So I'm going to find out tonight. I'm going to learn today.
Okay, here. No, it's not on here. I don't have one. Hold on. Well, since I have my bag here, I would do a video on my bag. This is for the African American Gun Club. This is their patch, and this is for Redstone Firearms in California. Let me grab a turn again. I'm sorry.
Okay. Look at that. She got a little subscribe button on YouTube going on. What's going on, Vivian Reed? Thanks so much for joining Ms. Wanda Hollis. Tonight, guys, we're just talking about your right to defend. We have a wonderful sister here who is taking this thing seriously to be able to educate, teach our community about defending itself. And we've seen plenty of stuff over our time frame to know that we need to educate ourselves in the area of defense. So that's what we're talking about here tonight on Black Woman Wednesday with Miss Tiesha Essex. All right, what we got? What's a tourniquet?
Okay. In layman's terms, you saw a tourniquet before, okay? When you get your blood drawn, what they use to, stop the blood flow and they draw the blood, that is a tourniquet. Anything can be used as a tourniquet. When stuff hits the fan, you may not have anything. Like if something hit the fan right now and I didn't have a tourniquet, one of these braids can become a tourniquet to stop the bleeding, okay? But this here's tourniquet is available at my website, tieshaessex.com.
So you do have a website. I was wondering if you had a website. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. Go ahead.
What's so special about the tourniquets that I have is that they come with tourniquet and a holster. This tourniquet here, this is like one that EMS would use, the military use, and this one was like fresh out the pack too. So this here in the military, we always train with these, but when I was active duty, I would say, a tourniquet is a last resort. If you have a bleeding wound, what is it? Elevation, direct pressure, tourniquet as a last resort. Well, things have changed. And like I said, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not giving you medical advice. But when stuff hits the fan, you can put on a tourniquet to stop that bleeding. Stop that bleeding so you do not bleed out. Every time your heart pumps, is pumping blood. And if you have an exit, you're going to bleed out. And like I said, in the event of an active shooter, or when I go out in the woods and I'm practicing shooting with friends, we have an accidental discharge. It's going to take a while for them to find us. And to get EMS help, you got to be your own first responder. What this tourniquet would do, you tighten it up, is Velcro. And then this here is called a windlass. What you're going to do is tighten that joker up until the bleeding stops. You're going to put that in there. And then it's a part here for you to put on a time. I don't really stress over it, but it's going to stop that bleeding and allow help to get to me. An active shooter situation just happened here in Seattle at the University of Seattle. And a lone gunman was walking around shooting people. People had injuries. And there's actually a video. I saw the video. And yeah, you have to be your own first responder. Let me go ahead and take this off before I pass out. But this is a tourniquet. I have a tourniquet holster. It's available. Like me here at the house, I have some all over the house. I have one in my car, have one in my coat pocket, my work bag. I'm always near one, so yeah, being your own first responder. And plus two, in an active shooter situation, the police are coming first. We're coming first because our job is to prevent that shooter from taking out more people. So you're going to be laying on the ground if you're injured. You'll be hollering for help, screaming. You may be gravely injured on the verge of dying. We're going to walk right by you because we have to stop this gunman from taking out more people. That is our primary focus. After we take them out, we have to ensure that there's nobody else in there shooting, and then once we deem that area safe, that's when medics are coming in, because medics are unarmed. Even if there was, a shooting, let's say at this house or something, at this house, police on the street, police got there first. We have to clear that house and deem it safe. Then we let dispatch know that it's safe for medics to approach. So it's going to be some minutes before medics get there. So you have to be your own first responder. And also that's why police have training too. So once we deem it safe, then we can focus on secondary, but it may not be a lot of us.
Absolutely. Now give me just a second here. It looks like okay, we're still on YouTube. Looks like we got a little issue with Facebook. So I'm gonna go and share the YouTube video to Facebook. Oh my second. What's going on? 1 second here. I'm gonna get the shareable link. Yeah, so it looks like Facebook cut us off, but that's okay. We're gonna do this. Black Woman Wednesday. That's why I always stream across multiple platforms, by the way, because you never know. Just never know. Let's see here. All right. Try to catch up here 1 second. Now, I got your website. I'm going to pull up in just a second, too. All right. All right. Share that. Hey, what's going on? Oh, thanks so much, Vivian. And then we'll go over here. I'm not quite sure how it just cut us off. It did, though. All right. All right, there we go. All right. So let me pull up your website here. You know, with me too. There you go. All right, tell us a little bit about your website.
Yes, my website. It's everything up there and pertaining to how to contact me, my YouTube channel, and then I have my Timonic store. I have everything together because just I've built a following on YouTube, so I'm getting everybody to shift over to the website, and then I'll break everything up. But it's just amazing. It's amazing. There was a YouTuber. I don't know if they did this for attention, but they had a ton of subscribers, but they're making videos talking about how they were poor, and I'm like, so I was getting scared, like, okay, I'm kind of all over the place and I'm not offering the world anything of value. And then that's when it snapped, like, stop running from yourself. So as I started to become more comfortable, like, yeah, I shaved off all my hair. I don't go to church. I follow other great people such as yourself, and I just share that. Then when it came to what was it? I did something with firearms first. I forgot what it was. But last year for my birthday, I just had a birthday, December 1st. So last year, I purchased a rifle. I purchased a 6-Sauer M400 AR rifle. And I know this whole stigma, in the world right now about AR rifles. I didn't want anybody to be afraid of it. And I'm like, hold on. I did not upgrade my cell phone. I took that. It wasn't even a full $1,000. And I bought a rifle with it. I'm like, it was so affordable. So one misconception that we as a people have is that things are not attainable. And one thing, in the hood, we have pawn stores, and they sell us pieces of junk. I went to a pawn store because I was investigating something, and the guy tried to talk me into buying a Jimenez Arms high point firearm. And I'm like, dude, if you don't get all the way the F word out of here with that. So yeah, I was like, okay, I have to educate the community on this. So I showed just how affordable it was to have a rifle. That, hey, I have a rifle. I'm not out here, hurting people. It's an art. It's a sport. It is a sport, and that's what I want to show people. It warms my heart every time someone says, like, hey, I went to the range because of your videos. I did this because of you. It warms my heart because I want more law-abiding citizens to carry firearms, because as a police officer, I made it a point. I actually live in the city of Newport News where I worked at. So if I was on the side of the road in a fight, I want a citizen to pass me and say, you know what, Officer Essex treated me with respect. Either I'm going to stop and ensure that I call other units to her, or I get involved and help her. So that's just it. And I don't fear law-abiding citizens who legally and lawfully have firearms. Rest in power to Philando Castile.
Absolutely. So you're doing with your website again, guys. You can check out the website here at I asked you if you had something earlier. Anyway, TieshaEssex.com, TieshaEssex.com. Thanks so much for joining us here today. What's going on, G25, man? We're still rocking and rolling. Now, Tiesha, here's the deal, man. Tonight is really all about, this is interesting, by the way, because, of course, we will have a little bit of interruption. Whenever you're trying to do something positive and great and all that good stuff, I tell people all the time, it's a part of the process. And so it looks like our time on Facebook was canceled out, but we took our YouTube and shared it over there, and hopefully people will catch it or catch the replay or anything like that. But nonetheless, it's still Black Woman Wednesday, and we're going to still uplift the Black women that are out there. Now, you said quite a few things. You said earlier, you said some things like this. You had, I want to put it the right way, but basically you had to get comfortable with you being you, unapologetically you as you are. And since you have done that, I would say genuinely, people, I believe, really connect to genuine people. And it's very interesting that there are plenty of people who don't understand why they're not attracting some of the things that they like into their life, and they don't realize because they're not genuine. And they think they're being genuine, but everybody else sees that they're being fake. It's a very interesting phenomenon. But as we're here on Black Woman Wednesday, this is really an opportunity to to express that, to share that, to encourage, to inspire, to uplift other Black women that are out there. I know there's a lot of different angles, from self-defense to being unapologetically Black. So this is your time to shine and share with all your sisters out there what you have to say to them here today on Black Woman Wednesday.
Well, sisters, I just did a video. My most recent video was I Am My Sister's Keeper. I gave a shout out to another sister who is also in Atlanta, Art Kathy. And I came across both of your platforms around the same time. It was right after I left Christianity, and I was outside of the continental US. So I was by myself. So I had time to, kind of unplug from the matrix and find myself. And one thing I could say, just being an adult from the time I was 18 was before that, when I had jobs as a teenager, I wore a uniform every single day. I dressed like the men at work. The difference was when I was active duty, I did not want to become one of the guys. I still wore a women's cut uniform. I got up, I did my makeup, I got my weave done, put on some makeup, and I still, had my feminine ways. I did not want to, smoke cigarettes, eat chewing tobacco. I did say cuss words, and I still do, but it was just really important to be me. At a point in time where I was just so lost and I was trying to fit in, oh, I'm not Black, wear haze gray, I'm your shipmate and stuff like that. You run from yourself and I was becoming the left side of my uniform that either said US Navy or where I had a badge, and not identifying with the right side that had my name, Essex, Tiesha Essex. And the more, I just paid more attention to Tiesha, that self-care. I would say my degree, I used damn near my entire GI Bill for my degree. So I'm gonna put that joke to work. I've used my degree mainly, it helped me understand my personal life more than my professional life. And one thing that makes people nervous, and I'm not saying everybody, but when you're a Black person, and this is my observation, as a Black woman, the more I left being, a Jesus freak and more proud to be a Black woman, proud of my heritage, proud of my people, that's when I started meeting a lot of resistance. But that resistance, it built me up because I can stand flat-footed and battle anything. I'm not ashamed when people label me angry Black woman, but when I stand up and I can articulate and I can hit you with facts over feelings and get my point across, and I've researched, I've read, and you be fearless. I'm fearless about it. Because one thing that I pride myself on, book smarts, street smarts, common sense, as well as experience and education. But I also have knowledge of self. And that makes people nervous. I don't care, but you're going to put some respect on my name at the end of the day. And that's what I want to, have my sisters know. We are mothers, okay? I am a mother. I have a great son. And showing the world a different perspective of what media wants us to be. You won't find a video on YouTube of me twerking. I don't have a video. If I get upset with something, I'm going to state my opinion. But if I have a disagreement with somebody, I'm going to try to talk it out. But I'm not in the club busting somebody in the head with a bottle, none of that stuff. My son's father, I love the hell out of him. He made me a mother. We have a great son. I love him. I love his wife. I love everything that we have. And I hold other people to that standard to have, functional, respectful, peaceful families, no drama, because we are, breaking the chains of our dysfunction. And I just want to be that example. And we do that by not seeing each other as enemies. We're not here to tear each other down or sabotage each other. We have trust. And that's just what I hope to put out there, to my sisters. You are your sister's keeper. When you when I was on the police department, I faced certain what I'd say trials and tribulations. But when I went to church, those people who were doing these crappy things to me, these illegal things to me, they were right there praying too. So I'm like, well, who was God protecting? And when my back was against the wall and I was in a corner, it was another Black woman. Shout out to my mentor. She know who she is, and others who were there for me. So I am my sister's keeper.
Absolutely, man. For those that are still here, man, put in the comments, I am my sister's keeper. And that's really what this show and other shows that I do is really all about. Us deciding to be the support and the help for one another. I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. And you made a valid point that we are not enemies. And unfortunately, we've allowed media, society, our upbringing, whatever, to get us to believe that we are enemies. And that is the craziest. That's the craziest piece. It's like, man, we don't have to compete in every area. And we see it a lot. I see it a lot between Black man and Black woman. It's just a big competition. Who's the best? Who's the greatest? Who what? Blah blah blah. It's like, man, can we all just work together? But that's just kind of what it is, man. So, Tiesha, man, I want to say, man, it's so much more to know about what you got going on. But I'm super excited about your journey. I'm super excited that you're free to share, free to be, free to really go on this path. I mean, I don't see another Black woman in this area, and I'm pretty sure there are other Black women in this area, but I don't see them. So it's definitely a pleasure to know that that in your area of your circle of competence, you're saying, man, here's where I can make a difference, and making sure that not only do you provide the products, but you also provide the training, the teaching, and all that stuff, so that we can really protect ourselves, protect our homes, protect our families, protect our community. I just think that's a phenomenal thing that you're doing. And so you might, for whatever reason, you kind of came across my channel, but man, I'll definitely be, following you as well as we do this thing together to make our community better. That's you on, yeah, you're on YouTube as well, Tiesha. You on YouTube also?
I just text greetings, everybody. But yes, definitely great. I'm happy to be back here on the mainland. Like I said, like the continental U.S. and Hawaii, we call this the mainland. So when I was seeing the products that you were putting out there, the toothpaste, the batteries, the detergent, shipping was not available. Oh, I wasn't not available, but it was too much to get stuff shipped to Hawaii. But now that I'm here, every time I see a product, I'm like, okay, order that. Let me get that here. And when I watched, what was it, Trigger Warning with Killer Mike, I'm like, shoot, I want to get back to Georgia. I want to get to Georgia because I want to empower our community. And it's not selfish. It's not selfish for us to want to support each other. That's one thing I noticed. Last year, I took a trip to the Seattle, the Northwest African American Museum, and they had a celebration for the Black Panther Party Seattle chapter 50th anniversary. And I went there because these were the ones who inspired me. My mother, shout out to my mom. There's a movie on YouTube. If you type in Panther 1995, my mother showed that to me when I was a little girl, and it stuck with me. I watched the movie every year for Kwanzaa, and it's about the Black Panther Party for self-defense and how they took action in their neighborhood. And the movie, it started with a street light. They took action, and you can just see the determination, the care, the love for community, the sense to serve. And I honor them. And that's one thing that, I was always ashamed of. I'm like, I can read this behind closed doors. I don't want people to judge me and do this. But I'm like, hold on, this is my culture. And the more we travel and talk to each other, you just become more and more unapologetic. I don't care what your opinion is of me, but I'm going to be a proud woman, and I'm proud of the accomplishments here, in this country and in the world of African Americans. When I was in Hawaii, my fear was, are there any Black people there? Did any Black people do anything? Shout out to, Doris Miller, who, had a heroic part in Pearl Harbor. Shout out to, I just read about, Port Chicago in California, and how the African American sailors in the United States Navy, in which I am a veteran. I did not know anything about this while I was active duty. They took a stand and said, we are not going to continue to load torpedoes and ammunition without the proper training. They were threatened with court martial. 49 of them are still, they are trying to become exonerated posthumously. And I'm like, wow, this is taking a stand. Okay. I am a proud veteran. I am a proud Black woman who served. I'm a proud Black citizen. That is me, and I will not let the accomplishments of my ancestors and those who came before me go unnoticed until someone wants to romanticize and Hollywood their story. No, we're going to get the raw, the real, and the in your face.
Absolutely, that's one thing that we do with our book club is we really, we're starting to really get some real history, in a let's say in an edible way. As I'm introducing these different books that I've come across, that I'm like, let's read it together. Let's see what these authors have to say. That's sharing and telling these stories, and it's a phenomenal thing especially when you do it together as well. You get insight from everybody. Then you start meeting people that's from some of these areas and some of these places, and makes you want to kind of go there and see if that stuff's still around, or what artifacts or whatever. It's a great thing, man, and I'm just super excited to be able to do my part, and I'm super excited that you're doing your part. And I just ask that everybody do their part in their own way, and as we all do that, we can tackle this thing one from all angles, and that's what it's going to take. That's really what it's going to take for a community to thrive. Everybody operating their 10. So, again, guys, we got Miss Tiesha Essex here on Black Woman Wednesday. You can check her out on Instagram at Tiesha Essex. She's got a website at www.tieshaessex.com. So definitely, she's working to get more content, more products, and things like that. It's been 3 years, guys, since this woman kind of started this part of her journey, and she's grown it like crazy in 3 years. And so I hope that inspires you for all that have an idea, or all that's like, hey, I've been thinking about doing this. Like, are you willing to sacrifice 1 to 3 years of your life to build something? That's a great question to ask. And that's really about the time frame, because it takes about 2 to 3 years before you really get recognition. Some people might look at me or may look at her and say, man, you've arrived. We really haven't. We just been doing it longer. And so we got some, we got experience, we have time, we have content, we have proof behind us to really substantiate what it is that we do, substantiate what it is that we say, substantiate what it is that we teach. And you can get started just like I have, just like Miss Tiesha has as well. Any last words for the people here tonight on Black Woman Wednesday, Miss Tiesha Essex?
I just want to come and say thank you so much. Like, oh my gosh, like you are, like I guess I've been watching you. So to have you watch me, and give me this opportunity to come and share what I'm doing is just, I don't have the words. I'm just totally just in awe, and I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I appreciate everything that you are doing. Like I said, you've been a monumental part in my journey, to become a grown up, because I was still a baby back then, and now I'm coming to become a grown up. As far as last words, I just want to say, pay attention to those who are not promoted and pushed out to the forefront in front of you. Right now I'm noticing in media, people have to really thirst trap, to bring attention to themselves versus getting it organically, and that's where we are. We are staying consistent. We're, showing the perseverance, but also the networking. That's what it's about. We have, smartphones, but dumb people. We don't have to, just get on there and do dumb stuff. We can make money. Shout out to another person I just came in contact with. This not came in contact personally, but on YouTube, Erica Williams. I'm not sure if you heard her as well. Smartphone millionaire. Once you make that change in yourself, that you want better, that you deserve better, things will start coming to you. You know, the right people would come. You would connect to this person and just be genuine, be you, unapologetically you. Like I said, I ran from myself for so long. I wish I knew what I knew now 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And I just hope to leave something for my grandchildren and my great grandchildren to look back and be proud of me. And for me to still teach them after I'm long gone. And, you know, because, you know, I left Christianity, you know, I don't see myself going to the pearly gates and presenting my case to get up in there and drink milk and honey and stuff, not disrespecting anybody, but, you know, to have great people behind us, such as people in your family, you know, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Denmark VC, you know, to come into conflict with them in the ancestral realm, and to include those who did not make it past the Mayafa, who, you know, were killed in slavery, who did not make it, who were lynched, all those bodies who were lynched. I have a poster with that on there. Once I become an ancestor, I believe that when I come to face my ancestors, they will be proud of me for a job well done. And that's what I strive to do every day.
Absolutely. And thanks so much for being here with us here tonight on Black Woman Wednesday. Again, Black Woman Wednesday is all about the uplifting, the empowerment, the encouragement, inspiration of the Black woman. I want to say, man, I absolutely do appreciate, adore, and respect each and every one of you, that you continue to push the envelope, continue to keep our community alive with all that you do. We absolutely do appreciate you, not only you, Tiesha, but you, the Black woman, here on the New Black Wall Street. Well, my beautiful people, I want to say thanks so much. That's right. Unapologetically me, man. Be unapologetically you. I'll tell you that speaks volumes from Miss Tiesha, because I'm telling you, once I'm going to tell some of my story later, man, but I had a lot of people that was trying to change my brand, and I just simply did not. I was like, nope. There's some places I just won't be going, because I'm going to keep my brand the way that my brand is, because I'm going to be unapologetically me. Either you like me or you don't. If you don't, I'll find somebody else who does. Absolutely, man. Well, my beautiful people, I want to say thanks so much for being with us here tonight on the New Black Wall Street, our special presentation of the Black Woman Wednesday. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The New Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there in the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.